about time to show the world.
The Grayson?
The Grayson. Waller.
When I look around the WWE roster, be that Raw, SmackDown, NXT, there's some great talent across the board. But the one I want to focus on for this video today is Grayson Waller. And that's not just because he's from about 2-3 hours from my part of the world exactly. He's a fellow Aussie like me. He's got the same similar accent, so it's not just because I'm a fan of him that way. I think this guy is legitimately really good. And this video is going to be me sort of explaining why. A lot of you probably know, if you're watching this channel, you're really dialed into wrestling, and you know what's up with this guy, but for some of you, you might not. You might be coming across this video not really being aware of Grayson Waller, not really knowing what the dude's about. Basically, this guy is, for starters, I'll explain why I think he's great. He believes in himself. He feels it. And what I mean by that, you look at someone like Theory, who's been ripped to shreds in the past year or two, especially on the main roster, because it doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel like Theory truly believes what he's selling, right? You watch Grayson Waller, you listen to a promo of his, and I'll get to how great he is at promos in a minute. You listen to him giving off what he's selling, the way he delivers his promos, the way he talks about himself, interviews, the whole package, the persona, the natural charisma. You see that, and you right away know, okay, this guy believes he's him. This guy knows he's it. He knows he's an attraction. He knows he's worth his weight on this show. He's not just someone who's happy to be there as well. This guy takes the show in the palm of his hand whenever he's on. He always tries to make his segment the segment you remember on the show. Whether it's the lines he uses, like what he says in a promo, in an interview, you can consciously tell, at least I can, when I watch the show, and there's no bias because he's Australian, I'll mention that again. I watch it and I go, this guy's trying to be the best thing on the show and be the thing that sticks out in your mind after the show. You look at a show like Stand and Deliver recently. In my opinion, his match with Johnny Gargano was the best match of the night. Granted, there was a lot of great matches. Grayson Waller mentions this in the promo he had against Carmelo Hayes like a few days back in their Grayson Waller Effect segment. How, you know, the show had been stolen before Melo could even make his entrance. Like, the main event had already happened. It's just the delivery of Grayson Waller. Like, if you want to watch just one of the many good Grayson Waller segments, watch that one. That one is just damn fun. The back and forth with Melo Hayes. Melo Hayes is also fantastic. Don't get me, you know, he's exceptional as well. Both of them are going to have really bright main roster careers. And I'll do a video on Melo eventually. But if you look at Grayson Waller in ring, pretty damn good. You know, like, this may not be Shawn Michaels just yet, and this might not be like an all-time great in-ring guy just yet, but he is damn competent in the ring. I like the finisher he has. I like the presentation of him in the ring. I like how he wrestles in the ring. I like his style in the ring. And I think for someone like this, a guy who, yes, he is more so known as a promo guy, a mic guy, which to me, in wrestling, I think is fantastic. I've always preferred the entertainment sort of wrestlers, the promo types, the presentation, the charisma guys. I always prefer that to the better move in-ring skill sets. That's just me. That's what I prefer. I prefer a TV star. And that's what Grayson Waller is. I know he's on Survivor over here, in the land down under, over here, I think 3 or 4 years ago. He was on Survivor. I remember watching him in that. So to see him go full circle with wrestling, get signed to NXT, become a pretty damn big star in NXT, be, in my opinion, just the biggest star of that show, that brand, alongside Melo Hayes. I think Bron Breakker is the guy they want to be the number one of NXT and the number one face of this next crop of young talent. But I think Melo and Grayson are just better. So yeah, I don't know. It's we'll see how it plays out on the main roster, but yeah, the main point of this, I just think Grayson Waller deserves some praise. He just does. The few of AJ Styles was really entertaining. Stuff with Johnny Gargano was really good. His stuff with Shawn Michaels, where he was doing these interviews and he was cutting promos, calling out Shawn Michaels. That's just great stuff. It just is. And this stuff with Mello Hayes now, I'm really looking forward to it. We had Grayson Waller versus Bron Breakker. They had a match earlier this year and a feud and a storyline. Like, to me, Grayson Waller is the best part of NXT. I watch NXT, or I follow it at least. I don't watch the full NXT episodes, but I follow what Grayson Waller's doing. I follow his segment. And not just because he's Australian, because he's legit entertaining. And on the main roster, sort of looking forward now, when you get to Grayson Waller, I think Grayson Waller is going to be selected in the WWE draft coming up. I don't know which show he's going to go to. I hope he goes to SmackDown, but my gut feeling is he goes to Raw. I'll be following Monday Night Raw more if they draft Grayson Waller. When it comes to Grayson Waller, I feel like a storyline with LA Knight is inevitable. I think that would be phenomenal. Having Grayson Waller, LA Knight, imagine the promos, imagine the back and forths, the feud would be so fun. Let them feud for 2 or 3 months, just have them rip each other to shreds on the microphone, do entertaining segments, the full works. So there's that. But really, with a guy like Grayson Waller, you can't even feud with damn near anyone. This is the other thing with someone like this. Someone who's creative, he's witty on the mic, he's engaging, he's hateable. When you have Grayson Waller on your screen, you feel something. He elicits a reaction. Like, if I was in the arena, I'd boo him out of the building because he's a heel, but like, I'm cheering him on. I want to see him succeed when I'm watching from like behind the screen type deal. He's a wrestler I love to hate, which is exactly what you want from a heel. He's a great heel. He just is. He's entertaining, and yeah. So that's a bit of praise to Grayson Waller. Essentially, if you don't know who he is, he's a loudmouth Australian who's a cool heel. I believe he's 32, 33 years of age. So he's not, over the hill. He's not 40 yet by any means. And from what I've seen and the research I've done, I don't think he had much of like an indie career. His body isn't super beat up, I don't believe. So he has a bright career ahead of him. And potentially the next 5 to 10 years on the main roster of WWE, entertaining promos, segments. I see him as being a United States champion, definitely. Maybe an Intercontinental champion down the line. Whether he eventually has a world title run, that waits to be seen. The world title, in my opinion, is for like the top echelon. Maybe he will get there one day, but keeping it realistic, keeping it, for the next, especially year, 2, 3 years, he's going to be drafted in the WWE draft. A US title run would be awesome. I think this guy, he looks similar from a facial perspective to Austin Theory, and he just destroys Austin Theory as far as the all-round wrestling package. The only thing Theory does better than Grayson Waller is, I guess, aesthetic physique, because Theory is more of a bodybuilder. He's more jacked. But really, Grayson Waller does everything better than Theory. So that's been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and drill.